good, but of course we could not get there. Report to the Mason driver, everyone who's hired to Mason right over here. He's going to be driving us around at a breakneck speed of not greater than 4 miles per hour. But Mason is your driver here. And we will leave goodbye to our platformer, Claire and Devin hanging out behind. And everything we do here, but also their wild counterparts, and we're going to do that through our conservation efforts that we do directly here at the zoo, but also through our conservation partners that we work with all across the globe. So we're going to be learning a little bit about those animals and those stories as we head behind the scenes. Starting off with the welcoming committee of the golden-colored Patas monkeys, right over here. Look high, look low, they can be everywhere in between. So a couple sitting on the ground right in there. These Patas monkeys are found in the open woodlands of the savanna. They are carrion feeders, so just like vultures, they are going to be eating dead stuff. And just like vultures, they don't really have feathers on their head. That means they're not going to get as dirty when they're shoving their head in all that dead stuff. Now that one that you does see that has feathers on her head, that is Pinto. He's only 5 months old, so he still has his baby feathers on his head, but he'll go bald pretty soon. Now, not bald are going to be our African crowned cranes right over there. These birds with very colorful yellow feathers, kind of a yellow afro going on. They have the loudest call out in Africa. They can be heard up to 3 miles away. So they have if you ever hear what sounds like kind of like a car horn off in the distance, that might be our crowned cranes. We have Bert and BT. If you want to know how to tell them the difference, Bert's a little bit bigger and his cheeks are completely white, whereas BT's a little smaller and has kind of like red blush on his white cheeks. Now laying down, we have some of our eastern bongos. We have a couple that are sitting outside just by these palm trees, these orange antelopes with white stripes. But you also want to keep your eyes peeled in the brush as we're going around, because they can hide very easily in the brush. There's 2 of them hanging out underneath these leaves right over these palm trees right over here. That orange coloration is going to allow them to hide very easily. You'd think orange and green would clash, but it is one of the first colors that disappears in the visual light spectrum. Think about it, got the same colors as orangutans and tigers. And there's one of our moms right over here. This is Binti right over here. So these eastern bongos, they are the 3rd largest antelope species in the world. They can get up to 900 pounds, size of a cow. And they do kind of moo a bit like a cow. But they are unfortunately critically endangered. There's estimated only be about 100 of them left out in the wild, with about 1,000 in zoos across the world. So we are very happy that we have had 5 eastern bongos born here in the past year and a half. We've had 2 born this year, Binti and Bennett, or not Binti, Bonnie and Bennett, as well as last year we had Millie, Mira, and Mac joined us. So very happy. Dad Marvin has been doing a great job. He's got 5 kids at only 6 years old. Now laying down in there, that is going to be Kavuli. Kind of taking a nap right over there. You might see a bluish gray bird laying down in the grass over there. That is Kavuli, one of our shoebills. It's not showing us a great look right over here. He's kind of laying down just like that marabou stork right over there. If you really want to get a good look at our marabou storks, I recommend checking out the walking trail right by the pygmy hippos. We have 2 shoebills over there, a mated pair named Ladybill and Zero. Yes. He was kind of laying down, so he was kind of like, you know how like sometimes cats will kind of do that whole loaf thing where they just kind of like curl up into a tiny kind of ball. He was kind of doing that. Usually he's standing up because he's a pretty tall bird. He's stands about 5.5 feet tall, but he was laying down. So it wasn't a great view, but I do recommend checking out those other 2 that are on the walking trail, because we're actually only one of 2 facilities in the entirety of North America you can see a shoebill at. And the other place is the Dallas World Aquarium. They have 2, we have 4. It's not a competition, but we're winning. Now we want to make sure our animals are staying happy, healthy, and active, and we're going to do that through a process called enrichment. Enrichment is anything we can do to keep our animals physically active and mentally active as well. Kind of stimulate them with their natural behaviors. So we got a lot of different things, such as bubbles for penguins. Penguins love shiny things, because you know what else is shiny? Fish from their scales. So that triggers a predator instinct. The penguins will run, chase, and pop those bubbles. And we can do other things like give heavy objects for our rhinos and our elephants to move around, and puzzle feeders for our giraffes. Use that very long tongue to be able to grab onto things. But we're going to go ahead and see if we can find some of that enrichment in action as we're going by, because we want to see animals. Now we're going to see who's all out and about right over now, because it has been a little bit since I went by over here thanks to the weather. But we're going to keep our eyes peeled for some more elusive animals that live out here. Oh, and standing out, we're actually getting a great look at a bay diker right over there. That tiny brown antelope right over there. This is the third smallest antelope species in the world. This is not a baby. This is a full-grown bay diker. They only get about 18 inches tall, weighing around 25 pounds. They are what we call chicken nugget sized out on the savannah, and you would hide a lot if you were that size and your neighbors were lions and hyenas. So the word diker is the Afrikaans word for diver, because they are known for diving into the bush to hide. Usually you don't see them out and about this time of day, because they're usually more active at dawn and dusk, kind of that awkward time when a lot of predators are either waking up or going to sleep. Now this next animal, you want to pull next to the mirror. Right here is going to be good. We are stopped, so if you would like to stand up to get a better view at our okapi, Zach, who's underneath that awning right over there. Has anyone ever heard of an okapi before, or seen an okapi before? Seen some yeses, but mostly no's. Well, don't worry, if you've never seen one before, you are like most people throughout history. The okapi is only found in the Ituri rainforest deep inside the Congo. And they do such a good job of hiding. They were not known by foreigners until 1901. Before then, they were considered to be a mythological creature. They do such a good job of hiding. We did not get a picture of a wild okapi until 2008. Very good at hiding, thanks to their coloration as well as those zebra party pants that he's got on right over there. That's going to help mimic sunlight coming through the forest canopy. Well, do they what? Okay, well, if you get... you remember the question, feel free to, but they've got those party pants right over there. Now they kind of look like they have zebras, stripes, but they are not related to zebras. They're actually the only living relative of the giraffe. This is a boy one, and actually you can tell that he is a male if you look at his head. Male okapis are at the base of that big rhino. There's a tiny rhino taking a nap in the hay right over there. So these are the southern white rhinos. We'll get another look at them as we get around this corner. We'll go ahead and bypass this little stop. We're going to take a look at our southern white rhinos right over here. The only social... So Mufasa, he has like a kind of a crater-like impact. So in there, that's just a little mud pit for our rhinos to move around in, because that's how rhinos cool off. Their skin's too thick to allow them to sweat, so they have to roll around in the mud. Here's Kalele right over here. Look down. This is a 3-month-old rhino who's coming to say hi right over here. Look down right over there. That is a 400-pound rhino. And that is Mom Kadogo right over there. This is her 7th child, which is impressive by human standards. Rhino pregnancy is about 18 months. And you know what? Baby rhinos are born at about 80 to 100 pounds. I know I just saw all my moms disassociate there. But they are luckily not born with their horns, so small victories. Walking by us, that is Daruba. We've got Fujo and then Maku right here. Maku is actually the firstborn of Mufasa, that big rhino here. He's our only little boy rhino. I say little with air quotes, because he's about 2.5 years old. He weighs probably about 3,000 pounds. Because rhinos grow very quickly. They gain about 3 to 5 pounds every single day while they're nursing. That's about 100 pounds a month. So Kalele at 3 months old is about 400 pounds. So they get big pretty quickly. And we are stopped again, so if you would like to stand up, you're welcome to. They're going to be coming by to say hi, not to us, but to their care staff who is hanging out behind us right over there, because they hear their favorite people. It's like Maku at 2.5 years old. He still kind of wants to hang out by Mom, who is Kadogo over there, but Mom's a little busy with a baby right now, and Mom's kind of only had the bandwidth to focus on one child at a time, so they're going to focus on the young one. So Maku was handed off to Fujo right over there, and actually what you just saw is he was coming over to say hi to Mom, and Mom's like, hey, I'm busy with your sister, go away. And he just kind of went, now he's going to go hang out with Fujo right over there. Well, we're going to go ahead and check out the largest animals that live on land here on planet Earth. And here at ZooTampa, we're going to check out the African bush elephants. Now, African bush elephants, if you ever see a herd of them, it is going to be primarily females. Elephants off over here. We have two mother-daughter pairs here at ZooTampa. So the one who is closest to us, kind of facing us, that is one of our moms. That is Majeka over there. To her left, so to the right of her, you see that elephant that's kind of got her trunk up a little bit, kind of lifting the tail of that other elephant. That is going to be, that's going to be Mavi right over there. She's our youngest elephant. She's 12 years old. She'll actually be turning 13 at the end of the month. And she's actually lifting up the tail of her half-sister, Mpumi. And Mpumi lives here with her mom, Mbali, who's this one closest to us right over here. Yes?
What's that for?
But the hole right over there? Or like the tire? So that is enrichment for our elephants. We will shove hay in there, and the elephants have to reach up with those trunks to grab their food out over there. And they can easily reach that trunk. They don't have to stand on their tippy toes or anything. They can really reach up. Except our girls are a little too small to reach up to there. So they wait for their moms and Ellie, who's our matriarch, to pull that food out, and they get the stuff that has fallen down that hasn't been claimed yet. Now, Ellie is our oldest elephant. She's 45 years old. She's also our heaviest elephant. She weighs about 9,000 pounds. And we're going to be going through a tight squeeze right over here. So again, want to make sure we're keeping our hands inside as we go by. This gate gets very hot in the Florida sun. This is the elephant gate to our elephant highway. This is how our elephants have access to their secondary habitat back over here. And has anyone here been to ZooTampa before? You may have remembered we used to have a male elephant named Studla here. He's actually here until recently. He just went off to California, to San Diego, over there, to continue as part of the species survival plan, to kind of mimic that natural behavior, because they normally don't stay in one place for too long. So he's gone off over there. He's got 6 girlfriends over there, and I've been hearing that they are smitten with him. So wishing him all the best over there. That used to be where he would be, because he would stay separate from the females, except for the occasional date nights he'd get with the ladies over there. But this building, this is the Elephant Night House. That's where the elephants go to sleep. It is also rated to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. So this is kind of hard to evac elephants. So instead, you got to make sure they got a nice strong structure. It also gives them access to their training yards. Training for all animals here at ZooTampa is voluntary. It's choice-based. We never force our animals to do anything that they don't want to do. So if they want to walk away, they can go back inside. That's their choice. But they really do like training because it is fun for them. It is a form of enrichment. They also get to meet their favorite people, their care staff. They also get a food reward for doing so. And we just pass what happens to the food rewards at the end. That's the elephant poop dumpster that we just went by right over there. Some say it's half empty. I'm an optimist. It's half full. Our elephants eat about 300 pounds of food a day, and they're going to give back about 300 pounds. And we have 5 elephants. You can do the math on that. But we do collect that out to be used as fertilizer to farms across the Florida area. So if you like eating local, you can thank our elephants. It's blueberry season right now. Just as a reminder, wash your produce. Now right over here, this is going to be our Maasai giraffe feeding and training station. You can see 2 of our girls back right over here, standing just outside of their house. They're kind of just chilling out. These are going to be Tiana and Kylie, our youngest dress. They're sisters, actually. They're full-blooded sisters. Kylie is going to be 7 years old, whereas Tiana is 5. And this is where they can come for those training sessions, all as our care staff to be eye level with a giraffe. Yeah, so they do like to look at you, because giraffes are kind of nosy. They like to keep an eye on what's going on around them. They're kind of known as the sentries or the watchtowers or the security cameras of the savannah, because a giraffe can see about a mile